Hello. In this video I want to give you a quick overview of some of the features available within Next version 1.0. In case you don't already know from our alpha and beta announcements, Next is a plugin from dRaster that is available for Maya 7, 8, and now 8.5 for Windows 32 and 64-bit. With version 1.0 of Next, you'll find that the most prominent enhancements we've made to Maya are in the modeling department. Before I get into the details about some of the modeling features within Next, I want to talk a little about the design philosophy we have at dRaster with respect to Next as a Maya plugin. Whenever we design any feature, we think a lot about how it will integrate within Maya. Just as an example, let's look at our implementation of selecting component rings and loops. Now, as you may already know, Maya has a bunch of tools that will help you select component rings or loops, but there's a couple problems with them. They require you to either dig through a menu, switch to a different tool, or set up a custom hotkey for both ring and loop selections. In production, I may be asked to model, texture, animate, or even render, so I quickly run out of hotkeys. So my tools need to be smarter. With Next, you can select full or partial component loops just by simply double-clicking. No need to switch to another tool for selecting loops, or no need to memorize a separate hotkey. Just double-click and you're done. Want a partial loop selection? Click the first component, hold down Ctrl plus Shift, and double-click to add the partial loop to your selection. But what about ring selections? We thought about that too. By giving Next an indication of what direction you want your selection to flow, Next will intelligently determine whether you want a ring or loop. So instead of Ctrl plus Shift double-clicking in this direction, select the subsequent edge along the shared ring path. Next will automatically determine what kind of selection you're trying to make and select that partial ring. Want a full ring selection? Select an edge and double-click an adjacent edge along that ring path to get that full ring. With Next, selecting full or partial rings is simple, fast, and very intuitive. Of course, this method works for all component modes: faces, vertices, and of course edges. What about transforming components? Well, everyone is used to the many manipulators that are so prevalent throughout Maya, but with Next we've enhanced those as well. Simple things like the scale tool scaling down to 0 instead of negative space, or being able to move, rotate, or scale components locally by using the Control plus middle mouse button. But even more interesting is our custom pivot adjustment tool. Within Next, you can hit the Insert hotkey and click any component to snap your pivot to that component. Hold Control while clicking will orient the pivot as well.